When you add or subtract fractions, you need a common denominator. So 12 and 8, I need a number that both of those numbers divide evenly into. I could multiply 12 and 8. That'll give me a pretty large number. So if I use 24, 12 divides into 24 and 8 divides into 24. So then what I do is I have to unreduce this fraction, 5/12, and turn it into 24ths. I use my denominators as a clue. I know that 12 times 2 is how I make 24. So that's how I know that I have to multiply my top number times 2 as well. Again, if I were to reduce 10/24, I would divide a 2 out of both top and bottom. It would turn me into 5/12. Same thing over here. Use your denominator as a clue. 8 times 3 is how you make 24. That means I'm going to multiply my top by 3 also. Be careful here. The place that a lot of people get points off is they'll forget to use this sign. So I have 10/24 minus 9/24. When you add and subtract, you do the tops only. So my answer will be 1/24, and that doesn't reduce, so that's my final answer. Problem 8. Again, I'm looking for a number that 8, 12, and 3 all three divide into. I think 24 will work. 8 divides into it, 12 divides into it, 3 divides into it. So again, use your denominator as a clue to help you unreduce. If I multiply this by 3, I'll get 24. That means my top should be multiplied by 3 as well. How do I turn 11/12 into 24? Well, my denominator is my clue. I'm going to times both top and bottom by 2. So my top will be 22. And then let's see, 3. I have to times by 8 to turn 3 into 24, so I'll times my top by 8 as well. Again, watch your signs now in this step. This is where a lot of people get points off. This first one was negative, so that's going to be a negative. My second one was negative, so that's negative. And my third one was plus, so that's plus. Again, when you're adding and subtracting, you have to do tops only. So -3 and -22 and +8. Think money. So -3 and -22 is -25. And then I win 8. So I'm at -17/24. I check if that reduces. It doesn't. There's my answer. When this 5/12 is right next to this parenthesis, that means I am multiplying. So how do I deal with the negatives? The same way I deal with negatives usually. If I have one of each, my answer will be negative. So I already know that my answer is going to be negative. Remember when you're multiplying fractions? Multiplying fractions, it's no problem. First you do the top, then you do the bottom. Okay? Then I will have to reduce. So I'm going to divide both top and bottom by 5. So I'll get a 3 on the top and 120 divided by 5, 24 on the bottom. Remember my answer is negative. I'm going to have to reduce. I can divide a 3 out of both top and bottom. So I get -1/8. When you are dividing fractions, you flip the second and multiply. So that's 8/9 times 3/2. I like to rewrite it so I don't screw up. Then multiply. Multiplying fractions, it's no problem. First you do the top, then you do the bottom. And let's see, I can divide both top and bottom by 2. So I get 12/9. Then I can divide both top and bottom by 3. If I had divided both top and bottom by 6 originally, that would have brought me right to 4/3. But there's my answer, 4/3. Go back and make sure there were no negatives in there, so a positive 4/3 is correct.